Hello, today I'm going to show you how to use your fast and focused feedback resource to create a Google Classroom comment bank, and then how to be able to use those comments from the comment bank to put comments in your students' writing so that they can apply the mini lessons from the resource to improve their writing. So, first things first, what you need open in order to create this comment bank is one, you need an assignment from Google Classroom open. So, I have a sample student paper that was submitted. And then I also have open my fast and focused feedback resource. So, a few things first before we start creating the comment bank. What we're basically going to be doing is we're going to be putting the grammar issue with the number code that's assigned to it, and then the mini lesson all in one comment. So that way they see everything all together, and your students will know exactly what the grammar issue is that they need to address. So, how we're going to start with this is on the student paper on Google Classroom. We're going to go onto our navigation panel over here, and we are going to click on that second option. It's a little speech bubble that says comment bank. From here, you're going to see I already have one of the comments in. So, just like I mentioned, we have the number code with the grammar issue. So, in this case, it's number one. The grammar issue is a fragment. And then I have the entire mini lesson already input over here. So let me show you how I got this. What I'm going to do is add to bank. And from here, I'm going to go back over to my fast and focused feedback document. And I'm going to take a look at my second grammar issue, which is run on sentences. So that's number two, run on sentences. And then I have my mini lesson. Before I go back over to my student paper, I want to copy the entire mini lesson. So copy that. And we're going to come back over to our paper. I'm going to type in number two because it's the number two grammar issue on the resource. And I'm going to type in run on sentence. From here, normally what we might think is that we would press enter and then just paste in that mini lesson that we just copied. However, we don't want to do that. And the reason is you can actually see right above this text box up here where it says that the way that Google Classroom is set up is that every time you press enter in this text box, it's going to interpret that as you're putting in separate comments. And that's not what we want to do. We want this all to show up as one big comment. But the way that Google Classroom is going to interpret this as is that number two run on sentence is going to be its own comment. And then avoid run on sentences by combining two independent clauses. This is all going to be a separate comment. And then this next part about lacking a semicolon is going to be its own comment. And then this last part with the with the YouTube link rather, that's going to show up as its own comment. And that's not what we want here. We want this all to appear as one. So I'm going to undo that. And the way that we can work around this to make sure it all goes together as one big comment is we're just going to add this comment as is. So number two, run on sentence, that's the grammar issue I'm addressing. Then you're going to see it adds to the very top of my comment bank. I'm going to use these three comment option little dots up here, and I'm going to go to edit. From there, now I'm going to press enter, and I'm going to paste in my mini lesson. And what you're going to see is when I press save, it actually saves everything as this one big comment with the different blocks of text. So when I put this into my students' writing now, it's going to show up as this one big comment rather than those like 4 or 5 little tiny comments. So much easier, much more reasonable for students to be able to understand. So let me show you how this looks when we actually put this into a student's writing. So let's say that this sentence right here, let's say that this one is a fragment. One way that I can add this comment into my writing is by going to the little add comment option over here in the right margin. I'm going to put the number one because I know that that applies to fragments. And I'm going to click on that comment that just showed up. You're going to notice here that we're going to lose some of that formatting because of just the way that Google Classroom is set up. But all of the information is still here, and I can press comment, and it even has that Google Classroom link where it's actually clickable now for students to be able to access. So this is one option that you have if you don't really mind as much about the formatting of how this is going to show up for students because the information is still there. The other option that you have, though, So let's say that this last sentence right here, this one is a run-on sentence. The other way that we can also add in a comment is still by going to that add comment option on the right margin, but instead of putting in the number 2 here in this comment field, so instead of doing that, we would come over to our comment bank, which is already going to be open. And let's say we have more comments over here. So this isn't the first one that's there. So if I needed to search for number 2, I can do that in that search option. Go to my comment options, 3 dots, and copy to clipboard. From there, I can go back over to my comment box, paste it in, and you're going to notice that the formatting is preserved. So it comes up as these blocks of text. So still one big comment, but it's different blocks of text. So it might be a little bit easier for some students to read. So it's kind of up to you, whatever your personal preference is, but you have 2 different options. So again, that's either by highlighting the section of text that you want, going to add comment and putting the number in the field, or you can come on over to the search option in the comment bank and search for it over here and then paste it into your text box. So what you would do after this is you would go back and forth between your fast and focused feedback resource, going on to some of the other grammar issues that are being addressed here. You would continue putting in your numbers and your mini lessons. And then from there, you'll have an entire comment bank created with all of the different comments. And then you'll be able to use this on your students' writing, no matter what the assignment is, no matter which class it is, on any device, as long as you're logged into the same Google account. These comments will transfer over to any device because it's specific to your Google account. So I hope that this helps make your grading life a little bit easier. I know that having comment banks like this has made my grading life a lot easier and streamlined the whole process. So I hope that this helps you as well. Enjoy!